Hello, this is Crota giving you another audio commentary between Hotlena and Go Shy on, I believe this is, no, Secret Valley? I hope so. I don't recognize the map right now and I forgot to write it down, so I'll say it's Secret Valley, and if I'm wrong, I'll update it on the actual YouTube video. Here we have Hotlena. We do have a Death Knight coming out from Hotlena in purple or pink. Meanwhile, he is gonna looks like he's going ghouls. Meanwhile, we have Go Shy gonna most likely actually looks like he went for a tavern build. Is gonna have a wisp by the tavern, and we do have an Ancient of War producing archers, but is going to go ahead and creep with two archers, so that Ancient of War did go down a little bit earlier. I started the game at the 1 minute 15-second mark, so that probably is a good reason on why there is a little bit of lag on the game. Meanwhile, we do have the Altar of Elders nearing completion. We have a Wisp waiting by the tavern, and a Wisp scouting Hotlena's main. We do have a Death Knight coming out, quickly picks up a Rod of Necromancy, waiting for the Altar of Elders to be completed. It is completed, and we have an Alchemist coming out from the Night Elf player. So a rather unusual build. An Alchemist as the first hero for Night Elf. And here we're going to have 3 archers going to go ahead and try to creep out this camp with the Alchemist. There is going to be a Wisp. I think the Wisp did die. Yes, Wisp did die. 2 Wisp died, looks like. And the Death Knight's currently already sitting at 50 experience. Meanwhile, we have the Alchemist now going in Chemical Rage, trying to take out this Null Overseer. This is a very old school strategy. I have not seen the Chemical Rage Alchemist in quite some time for the Night Elf. We do have Wisp coming in, and if the Wisp go ahead and try to detonate, we are going to be able to get those skeletal minions, but instead he's going to go after and fight them one-on-one. And we have a Null Assassin trying to get the final kill. It looks like that Death Knight is unable to death coil that final unit, but was able to get 1 kill steal. Or perhaps the Ancient of War got the last kill, so we do not have level 2 on the Goblin Alchemist at this time. Alchemist wants level 2 badly, and is going to go ahead and go after those Knolls. We do have an Ancient of War now, rooted, going to sit down and try to take down those units, and it looks as though the Alchemist is going to go ahead and try to protect his base. We have a Death Coil on a Wisp, another Wisp goes down, so it looks like we have a couple kills from Death Coiling Wisps. We do have a couple of Ghouls trying to come in as well, so Go Shy trying to fend off an attack from Hotlena with Ghouls and Rod of Necromancy. Meanwhile, we have Acid Bomb being trained from Go Shy, so Go Shy is currently sitting at level 2 with Chemical Rage. A couple of things that I'd like to point out on the Alchemist, if you have not seen him as a hero. He does have a very high strength. He is a very large strength hit point unit, and at the same time he's able to attack land and air. Even though he has a melee attack, he's able to throw, I guess, like would be like a vat or a vial at a range. And on top of that, even though he does have a very, very high, nice attempt surround on the Death Knight. The Death Knight trying to get into the back. The Death Knight's gonna not perhaps make it. No, he's trying to go ahead and try to hit to the route. Ooh, nice surround by the Wisp. Looks as though the Death Knight is gonna be stuck in the back of the base trying to get out, and now trying to, is it still getting caught? Still getting stuck. Currently sitting at 52 hit points, unable to get out. Nice surround by Go Shy against Hotlena's single Death Knight. That Death Knight unable to get out, getting focused down. Wisp trying to get away. The Death Knight's down to 197 hit points. Is it having a really hard time getting out? Not being able to get path. It looks at that Death Knight's down to 73 hit points. Is the Chemical Rage? Yes, Chemical Rage is in effect, and it looks as though the Death Knight Acid Bomb, and the Acid Bomb is most likely gonna take down that Death Knight. Down goes the Death Knight, and wow, what a nice job surrounding units with Wisps and an Archer. But yeah, going back to the Alchemist has 1 armor, so the Alchemist does take damage significantly faster than other units. Not like your typical Mountain King who has 2 or 3 armor early on, and the Alchemist doesn't really get armor that quickly. So personally, I like to have Rings of Protection on the Alchemist, but sometimes players just choose to still sell them. Now we do have Fountains of Health on this map, so the Fountain of Health is going to be a very good place for this Alchemist to recharge. It is, I believe, a percentage-based healing, so we have now level 3 on the Alchemist. The Alchemist is most likely going to head to the north to try to get some healing done, and we do have an expansion attempt from Go Shy. The Death Knight, currently sitting at level 2, was resurrected. We do have a Manual of Health being left behind, and it looks as though that Death Knight wants to get some blood or some revenge for getting surrounded by those Wisps. Meanwhile, we do have the Alchemist now creeping out this particular camp. He is tanking this quite well, that Fountain of Health, and making it very easy for him to creep this without taking any real damage. See, he's currently sitting at 300 hit points, and as soon as that red Drake goes down, it will be no problem. Here we have the Death Knight picking up some skeletal minions, trying to take down that Tree of Life. That Tree of Life, ooh, nice detonate, and losing some mana and perhaps getting some additional experience on the Alchemist. The Alchemist now has rune bracers as well, so very nice item, unable to really get death coiled or frost novaed by the Death Knight. The Death Knight now trying to take down Go Shy's single Tree of Life. That Tree of Life is gonna may have to be canceled and rebuilt because of that. Ooh, yes, it is canceled and it is gonna be rebuilt. The Death Knight is forced to go ahead and run away, and we lost some valuable building time. Meanwhile, we have mass ghouls back in the base of Go Shy. Go Shy is trying to detonate those whiffs on those ghouls, not for no reason except to prevent any additional experience gain. Now we have an Ancient of War gonna go ahead and set up camp right by the expansion, and this is, I don't know how to shoutcast this. This is a very new strategy to me. Is this this chemical raging Alchemist coming in there, trying to get in some hits. We have some pathing going on, and the chemical rage Alchemist is going to go ahead and head back to his base. He does have a lot of hit points to regenerate. I would assume that he wants to try to either do some creeping with his archers while standing next to that Fountain of Health. Meanwhile, those archers are now in the middle of the map. Is there a second hero coming out? No second hero at this time, and nothing by the tavern, so nothing really there. The Alchemist was able to get some Moonwell water and able to completely heal back up. Meanwhile, we have a Lich and a Death Knight coming out. And that Lich, don't know what his skill is, but both at this time, Chemical Raging and Alchemist trying to come in, gonna try to get in a couple more hits, perhaps. Gets one hit on the Lich, and is going to be forced to go ahead and pull back. We do have statues coming out from Hotlena, so Hotlena does have statues with his Death Knight and his Lich. We do have an Orb of Corruption, so we're already at Black Citadel for Hotlena, and it looks as though an Alchemist is going to be forced to come back to his base, come back and retreat for a little while. Death Knight now trying to come back in. We have Acid Bomb. No Acid Bomb. We do have the Orb of Corruption hitting down, and that Chemical Raging Alchemist, can't even say that quickly. Chemical Raging Alchemist trying to chase down that Death Knight, and archers are now trying to take down this middle camp, able to get it, and we may get level 4 on this Alchemist soon. If we finally get to transmutation, that would be very interesting, as I think the transmute works on the statues as well, so being able to pick off those statues and get instant gold is going to work very well for the Night Elf player. We do have a Tome of Agility, but it looks as though the Alchemist is going to go ahead and focus more on creeping at this time. Meanwhile, we do have the Death Knight and the Lich creeping as well with those statues, so mass ghouls and statues coming out from the Hotlena. Go Shy, meanwhile, is going to pick up a Potion of Invulnerability, get to level 4. It's going to sell a Mantle of Intelligence as well, and now is going to get creepjacked by a couple units by the ghouls. The ghouls, unfortunately, did get ensnared, or the archers did get ensnared, so those units will go down. We have a Potion of Healing on the Alchemist, and there's a lot of low hit point units now. Go Shy, not really sure what his strategy is going to be at this point. But we will see what's going to happen. It looks like as though the ghouls are going to go ahead and head back to the north. Ancient of War is going to go ahead and try to get in a couple more hits. And those ghouls are now surrounding that Ancient of War. That Ancient of War is going to go down quickly without any additional healing anytime soon. Meanwhile, we have archers now, archers and dryads trying to come in. We have an Acid Bomb in place, and we have the Orb of Corruption. The Acid Bomb, I cannot tell what level it is, but it is doing its job and being able to level 2 Acid Bomb, so it's level 2 Acid Bomb, level 2 Chemical Rage, and those units are going down fairly quickly with that Acid Bomb and that loss of armor. Now that Potion of Invulnerability being used by that single Alchemist, and the Alchemist is going to go ahead and try to surround a couple more units, trying to pick off and delay this fight. Meanwhile, we have level 1 Lich, level 1 Naga Sea Witch, and a level 2 Death Knight. No real levels, and now we have a level 5 Alchemist. I'm going to go ahead and pause the replay at this point. Stay tuned for part 2 and what I believe to be the conclusion of this replay.